Hello, so I'm working on this project. It's a house and uh, they need some lists. So the preliminary numbering is not great with advanced steel, so I'm just going through the process of numbering the project. I'm a little particular and still not happy with the way it is, but I've done the columns on the first floor and all the beams in red, the ones that are highlighted, they are numbered. So what I'm going to do is there's also a smaller floor above at the roof level, and you can see here, take a second. So alright, so I'm going to drag this back down so I can see what I'm doing. So this is the procedure I go through. Usually this is about as big a job as I'll do, to be honest with you. So people will have different practices, but just wanted to show you how I do it. So I'll do the rest of these beams on this floor and maybe some of the columns. The video won't be that short because some people might be curious as to how other people do their numbering. So right now let's pull the toolbars over here. So you can see these are already selected or highlighted, I guess. So to select them, select all marked objects. So that's selected them and the ones on the bottom floor because I want to include them all in the numbering. And then I'm going to just go, instead of doing one at a time, I do like areas at a time to try and keep the numbers. So the numbers will start here and then I did this area and work my way along. You know, people say it takes a lot of time. It does take more time, but for me it's worth an hour or whatever it takes to go through this process. It might take longer than an hour actually. I don't ever time it, but it just means I don't have to be annoyed about where the numbers are afterwards. So we can see in the numbering here, we have the B ones. These are all on the first floor, the 1B. So these last couple that were numbered here were probably these ones here. Now I'm not gonna show you which ones they are because I'll have to unhighlight these. So I'm just going to go through my procedure and just to show you. So what I'll do now next is, again, I'll select those parts. So they are now selected. And then I'm going to select these three beams along here. And I can notice, I think I'm missing a connection there. So I'll have to go back and check that one. So that's okay. I never put the shear plate on the other side. So he's just looking for the beams right now so he can do the lengths, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not fully complete with the model yet. So I'll number that, okay, same again. And then I'll go to the next phase and I'll select them. And I can go here, here, and here. And I'll do those three and then I'll highlight again. And the reason I'm keeping the other ones selected is so that things will get similar numbers if they're similar, which a lot of these aren't similar, to be fair. So this is the process I go through. I'm sure some people probably think I'm crazy because they're still not going to be in order really, because these three here will probably get numbered differently, right? So let's see what the last number was. 2B 29. So let's see if this is 29. It's probably 28. That's 31. And this one is 31. So they're all 31. So it was at the top of the list. I just didn't notice it because there was more than one. And that's 33. So they're still out of order, you know. So 33, 31, 31. God only knows where 32 is. Is it here? Should be here, right? So they're in the same area at least. So ideally what I would want to do is just select the next beam. But I don't think I have time to do that. I probably have time. I just don't have the patience to do that one beam at a time. So what I'll do is just do an area at a time. So I just keep going like this. Select these couple of smaller beams in here. Now, sure, some people don't care about this at all, but Some people should kind of, I guess. So I'm going to select, I'll pick this one. That column is already numbered. I've done the columns on the first level and the second level. So, and I've done this beam here now, numbering, okay. And I just basically keep going like that. Seems like a waste of time, right? I guess, but and then what I'll do, if I have to take a break in this, I'll have a group over here. So, and I'll just select all of these, and I'll come over here and I have numbering beams first floor. What I'll do is I'll create one of these, create a new group. Numbering beams all. And I'll know myself that this is through my numbering process. So it's the point I've got to. So I'll do add elements. And then if I do select elements, it'll select all those beams if I want to restart. So I won't continue with this in the video because it's kind of boring, but I do the same thing with the columns. So if I cancel out of that, we can see that we have the columns here, and I'll open this down a little bit. And I'll go up another couple of inches. I won't go all the way up to the beams, just to make it clear. And let's come down a little bit, sorry. So basically the yellow columns were phase 1, the green columns were phase 2, because they're all the green columns except for this one. Actually, I have to change this one back. Properties and by layer. Alright, so the green ones are coming from the steel on the first floor up, and then all the yellow ones are coming from the foundation. They're all embeds, and the purple ones then are coming from the top floor up. So if we go back to our groups, we can see that I should have a group of columns with all. Now that's all in the numbering process, so I have these numbered already. So that's all I'm numbered. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and we want to check these. So what I'll do is I'll highlight. Now if I check these, I'm not sure. I have not put these in as phase 3. So these are going to be phase 3. You can see there's still some unfinished. Oh no, actually I have cut through that. So let's pick all the purple columns, or magenta, sorry. So I'll pick all of these. Now, I have a better way of picking these, but I'm just, only because there's not so many, I'll just pick them manually. I think that's them all, and there's another one here, sorry. Just make sure you get them all. Now, it takes a little bit of time, but at the same time, you know what you're doing, you know where your numbers are, you kind of understand it a little better. That's how I feel about it anyway. So let's do advanced properties, naming, and they're all columns, and we're going to have them on phase 3. And tick the box so that it's accounted for in the numbering. So all my columns are highlighted here, so I'm going to drag this back up through the building so I can see a little better. Now you can only drag, it seems, half the thickness of your depth, or half your depth. So let me go 2 times. Okay, we can see a little better there now. So we can see, what I'll do is I go like this a little bit. So I have these columns already highlighted, so what I'm going to do is select them, and then I'm going to pick these 2 columns on the first line across, and maybe this one as well. I'll pick this. I won't pick that one. Okay, and you can see it's highlighted those two columns, and then I'm going to number it. Okay, and yes, and those columns should be 1, 3, or 3C1 and 3C2. There you go. And then we're going to go through the same process again with the columns. So that's selected all of those, and I'm going to select the next one, and I will just do one this time. So it's a process, as you can see. I'm sure other people have better ways of doing this. I'm definitely not saying this is the best way. This is just how I try and figure my way around it. Now, on the next level here, I have 4 columns, so I'm just going to pick all 4 of those. And the same when you're numbering up through the building. So, and then I got a number again. And, so we'll work our way through. It doesn't take that long. It'll take a couple of minutes to do the columns. The beams take a little longer because there's obviously more beams. But it just means my stuff is not all over the place, and it'll just bother me later if it is. Now, some things end up all over the place anyway because you have to change things, and then the number is different, but that's fine. I don't mind that. So maybe below, if anyone can comment as to the best way they do it. Now, there is a preliminary mark, but it just puts numbers all over the place as well. So I feel like that's a process I don't need to do. I know it does keep that number the whole way through, but I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of a waste of time also. So let me select those 4 on that line. So we're almost there with the columns. And then I can probably send him a column list first, because that's what he needs most. Some of these tubes are 9x5s, 9x5x5/8, so it's a bit of a pain of a job, to be honest. And let me select these last row of columns. I'll pick 2 because that doesn't matter. I'll pick that one as well. I probably would have just picked the 2. Only videos getting dragged out a lot. So that's my numbering process. I'll go back now and do the beams. Let me number this. Okay. Okay. And then when I go the whole way through the building, I'll just number everything. And anything that was wrong will get changed. Anything that... I also have a couple of short columns here, actually, you can see on the top floor, so I'll sort them out as well. But I'll number everything at the end, so all the bolts get numbered and everything. So it's just a process. I have another floor here, I have another floor beam. I have to finish the floor below of beams, so another half hour I'll get done. So I probably spent an hour numbering last night, so you're looking at probably a couple hours to number the model that size. So any feedback would be helpful. I don't know if there's any better way to do it unless you just have your numbers all over the place, which I'm sure a lot of people do. Alright, thank you. Feedback appreciated. Take care. Bye bye.